will be on shortly. Yes. Welcome to the 5-day FDP on Transport Infrastructure Asset Management. Today, this is day 4 and session number 12. The topic of this session is a case study of Andhra Pradesh Road Asset Management System. Resource person is Mr. KSS Prasad, consultant in Geoinformatics, Hyderabad. So, till date, in this FDP, we have covered 9 technical sessions, and the 10th session, or in total, the 11th session has been rescheduled. There is some changes that has been informed to all the participants. The 12th session, which will go on as per the schedule now. Here we are. So this session's resource person is Mr. KSS Prasad. Mr. Prasad is an active consultant in geoinformatics with more than 30 years of national and international experience in geospatial technologies across various sectors, including transportation, urban, defense, irrigation, and agriculture. He has expertise in developing and integrating RS and GIS applications in large-scale projects, rich experience in project management, delivery, acceptance, and commissioning of projects. Major areas of expertise are image analysis software such as ERDAS Imagine, PCI Geomatica, JS software such as ArcGIS Suite, Intergraph products, experience in differential GPS surveys, utility surveys, and GIS database preparation. He is experienced trainer to onboard GIS and IT systems. He has coordinated prestigious projects like IMSD, NRIS, NRDMS, CAPE, FASAL, and established GIS and image analysis facility. He has an experience in large-scale IT projects, coordinating enterprise GIS application, customizing software tools, and developing database models and systems integration. He has experience in international donor-funded projects in Asian countries, mainly funded by World Bank, DFID, UNDP, ADB. He had worked for organizations such as Shalani Associates, AECOM, Rolta India Limited, URS Scott Wilson India, IEG, that is Government of AP, ESRI India, and APSRAC, which is a part of Government of Andhra Pradesh. Sorry. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Mr. Prasad to take over this session. Thank you for accepting my invitation and being a part of this FTP as a resource person. I welcome you, sir, for this technical session. Over to Mr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sharing the screen now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can I screen, Dr. Suresh?
We can hear, not an issue.
Okay. I will go ahead now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is KSS Prasad, and today we will talk about a case study of road management system for Andhra Pradesh. Basically, it was a World Bank funded project which has been awarded to Government of Andhra Pradesh Roads and Buildings Department in the year 2016 to 2019. So 3 years we worked on this project and we delivered, and then we will look into the case study. Okay. Basically, I would like to cover the scope to 4 or 5 parts. Introduction and objectives, framework and architecture, and data collection, methodologies and methods, and then strategies and analysis we took up, and finally the annual maintenance plans or the routine maintenance plans, what we call them, and what is the kind of validation mechanism we adopted in the study. I hope I am audible. At the same time,
Yes. Yes,
I
sir.
would,
Yes, it's audible.
yeah, I would also request the audience, uh, let us let us have an interactive session. Wherever you feel like, you can stop me and ask me the questions, or if you feel comfortable, we will attend the question hour session in the end. Okay.
Sure, sure. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Now, introduction to RAMs. Basically, RAMs is road asset management system we call it as. It has several components to it, like management of a road network, decisions system, and
So there are some gray patches on your screen. Kindly.
everybody can see. Is it a network issue? I believe. Can you see now?
Prasad Garu, there is a gray patch on the right side of the screen.
Oh no.
Below the word scientific word, below the scientific word.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything here.
Is it only happening to me or some other participants I do not know?
Yes,
Prasad Garu.
I was wondering. That's what I was
Yes, sir.
wondering.
It's with me also presentation there. Right side one patch is there. So with that, it is very difficult to get the slide.
Dr. Suresh, is it the case with you the same?
In a scientific manner below that, scientific word.
The patch is persisting. Prasad Garu.
I see. But I am not having
Hello,
a patch here.
hello, sir.
Uh, eh,
Hello.
do you see a patch there?
The thing is, probably there is a small window.
I think you might have opened another window, sir.
Yeah,
I have not opened anything.
yeah, that minimize. Yeah, now it may work. Even somewhere you can drag that, the one which is
Now
Drag
you
it to the
now,
some corner there then.
there is small one. Can you drag it out? Yes, yes, yes. That is exactly.
this one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that one.
No, that is Windows, active Windows. That's it. That is a system generated one. But
Okay.
I minimized all other small
Yeah.
screens.
So this system generated one, can you push it side?
No, it is a
Not
fixed
possible.
one. It's a fixed
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. That exactly. Is it possible?
No, this is activate Windows.
ठीक है, sir.
That,
Okay, it's
can,
visible.
Okay,
Slide can be visible
that,
there.
that won't do.
okay, okay. Not an issue. Please, please.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
think
can.
that will not deter the presentation. Let us
Okay,
just
okay.
Yeah, please continue. Please continue.
thank you. So basically, RAMS is a management system which will help the planners in both technical and managerial practices of standard operating systems to manage and maintain the road networks, basically in a scientific manner. We try to understand what is the kind of data it collects and then functional requirements of all categories of road data is collected under this RAMs, and then the maintenance phase of RAMs is to determine the cost also associated to it. Means when I give an annual maintenance plan, I should be able to tell the planner or the road engineer what is the cost involved in such and such maintenance as well. And basically, RAMs work on very standard engineering parameters like International Roughness Index, IRI, and also condition index, ICI. There are several other parameters we will dwell upon in the later stage. And finally, RAMs also include the development of procedural guidelines for the entire organization at the regional level, how to operate, when to do this kind of exercise, that kind of operational guidelines are also important to evolve. Go to the next slide. Just to give give a brief overview of this RAMS process, if you look at the road asset management system, we start working on the data collection first. So inventory and data collection, inventory and condition data collection, which is collected from the field, and then we talk of data processing, and then we do a lot of analysis. We do first beginning, we may do some trend analysis to understand data, variables, etc., etc. And then along with that, we also develop the GIS network database, which will help us in locating ourselves with the spatial reference. And then finally, we do a modeling. The deterioration modeling is subjected to the data what we collected from the field. And then after getting the model data, we go to the field and validate our results in some strategic areas or some sample areas with some sampling techniques. Then finally, we generate work program or the maintenance schedule program, and we maintain the roads. And this is a cycle. It's again after some maintenance, again collect the condition data, see how the road network is, the user satisfaction levels. So this cycle we need to continuously monitor. So RAMs help in this kind of a system availability. So when it comes to AP RMS case study, what we have done is basically there are three major objectives. One is establish a physical RAMS system including the GIS database linkage. So a system is to be established because it's first time in the state of Andhra Pradesh. They do not have it earlier. And then prepare multi-year rolling programs, or we may call them maintenance plans for road improvement, annual maintenance plans. Multi-year means every time when I generate for 5 or 10 years maintenance plans, and every year I generate. So there is an overlap of the whole system wherein I start building the dynamic database, and then institutionalize the RAMS system in the organizational level, R&B department level, and then transfer the skills and procedures to number of staff who are designated in the department to take up on their own. Hope I am not going too fast. Please interrupt me if I do so.
Good, sir. Good, sir. Kindly continue. Good, sir.
Okay. APRMS framework. The framework we adopted to do this case study involves 4 major components. First one is data collection, wherein automated survey vehicles are used and we collected lot of data. I will give more details on the data, what we collected, how we collected in the slides next level. And then we created various type of information systems which are subcomponents of this RAMS. RIS is road information system, BIS is bridge information system, PMS is pavement management system, and RMMS stands for routine maintenance management system, and TIS stands for traffic information system. So there are several subcomponents of this RAMS. Overall, there are 5 subsystems, we call them as. And then we use all these systems together to take decisions and model the data to take decisions. For modeling this data, we use highway development manager tools developed by the World Bank, HDM we call it as. I give more details later. And then finally the decision support mechanism is evolved and used as kind of reports or maps or kind of MIS data, statistics and things like that. Okay. Then we we come to the level of what is the kind of software we use. I am only touching upon the software. I will tell the rather hardware at the next level. You are all aware GIS per se, the geospatial geographical information system or geospatial technology software. ArcGIS, which is developed by ISRI, is one of the prominent market leader GIS software. We use it for the entire road network mapping and database development, preparation of various thematic maps, and then live GIS database development. The beginning we mentioned the prime objective of RMS in AP state is to create GIS based road network management system. Then we used an asset management software which is developed by Bentley, which works on Oracle platform and a cloud architecture, and it has got all the subcomponents what I explained earlier. And there is also a dashboard which will give quick information or abstract level information of this entire asset database what collected. Then for economic analysis, we set the primary objective being the delegation of or arriving at maintenance plans with cost involved. HTM software is developed by World Bank teams, and finally it's practiced many countries elsewhere in the world also. There are two levels of doing economic analysis. One is at strategy level, one is at program level. So we used primarily three software: E3 ArcGIS for GIS, and Exardata for it's for data repository, and then HTM for all our analysis modeling tools. This is a system architecture. There is a lot of information in this, but I will quickly give you the base kind of information. I hope this PDF is already with you, or maybe given by Dr. Suresha. You will have this all the flow charts already in the presentation. So this entire architecture is working on a cloud architecture, as I mentioned earlier. Means there is no physical hardware system. Everything is on the cloud environment, and what the kind of what we are using just now is on a web architecture. All the there is a server which is in the cloud, and we access the server and we put up the data there. And this entire system is developed on Oracle platform, and all the data which you can see here very smaller in size in the text. Field data what we collect of various components, road inventory or road condition or pavement condition, pavement composition, roughness, traffic volume data, or any kind of data which is loaded into the Oracle database using some loaders. We call them CSV loader. And then once the data is enabled, each data goes into the respective components, subsystems. Like traffic system will have the traffic data like that. And then the data analysis, data maintenance, and validation of outputs. All three components, we use the same system and same subcomponents. And for HDM analysis is used, and then again all the data comes back into the system through the GIS package. So this whole program architecture or the system architecture is very integrated and very sophisticated in nature, and all the subcomponents work in interrelated manner. Then we go to the next level of data collection. What is the kind of data we collect, and what kind of data collection method is applied, and what are the technical parameters in this? The spatial coordinate data using the network survey vehicle, we collect the data, I will explain the vehicles in the next slides. And the kind of data what we collect, spatial coordinate means the GIS. Using a DGPS, we collect the road networks and all, which has got the subcomponents of parameters like linear distance, horizontal and vertical profile, grade and crossfall, horizontal and vertical curvature, like that. And then road inventory data. Again, the carriageway type and width, shoulder type and width, number of lanes, terrain type, things like that are collected. And the condition, basically, this is one of the most important thing. What is the condition of that road as on date? So I will explain the survey mechanism in the next slides. But the kind of data we collect, it is again listed here. After some slides also this will repeat for your understanding. And FWD, you are all aware, you are all civil engineers, I believe. Falling weight deflectometer, which gives you the pavement composition of any pavement. So it's a deflection analysis tool. Again, this is also using an automated vehicles. Traffic surveys are conducted using manual methods, and AADT, average annual daily traffic, and annual daily traffic is calculated. Axle load survey, which is, we are all aware, the loads of the vehicles, either trucks or buses or whatever it is, are collected again using some automatic methods. And the trial pit surveys, physically the trial pits are taken to test the pavement composition, crust thickness and all. And the CD survey is a cross drainage structures. We call them bridges and culverts, maybe in the common language. That is again collected using manual methods. Various parameters I will explain later. Shall I go to the next level? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
yeah, as part of our case study, also we need to come up, as I told earlier, we also need to come up with what kind of data, when should I collect? Because based on the road usage or the traffic or the various road composition, pavement composition details, we have to give the department where to collect, when to collect, what kind of data. So this is a data collection frequency mechanism, which is already in use by the state R&B department after this project enrolled. The inventory data once in 2 years for MDR, major district roads, for state highways every year you need to collect. Like that, each data, pavement condition data, how to collect, when do we collect the FWD data, when to collect traffic survey data, like that. The entire matrix is developed based on our experience for 3 years working on the project. Now we look at the kind of data collection mechanism, as I told earlier. This is the kind of NSV vehicle which has got varieties of things. You can see the zoomed in portion wherein there is a laser profiler which collects the IRI, International Roughness Index. And then there is also complete hardware and software enabled within the vehicle. Continuously they collect the data, like GPS data is collected to make the track of that road. And then there are varieties of cameras on board the vehicle which collect the videos and photographs of various distress material. Video is continuous in nature, and then I can also play a video just to showcase how the video is collected. I hope you will be able to see. Because of the bandwidth, I am not sure. I will try to give you the video. Can you see the video?
It's not visible,
No,
sir.
Video is not visible,
Yeah.
at least now. Can you
Maybe you can try to minimize that small window,
okay.
because it has come over because already you are sharing the slide Are you sharing the video?
Yes,
Video window?
I made it small, but
Sir, I think
No.
you may have to stop sharing the screen and then share the video separately
Yeah.
along with voice, sir.
okay, I'll do that. I'll do that one. Just to give a big picture, I just want to do it. Can you see now?
No, we are seeing the same slide number
No,
12.
sir.
We are seeing.
I think
We
maybe.
can see 12, slide number 12.
Okay. Okay.
Can we have it by the end of this session video?
Yes, we will try in the later period. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just continue here. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be better.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, there is a, just to give you the snippet of that, there is a continuous video of all the roads with which the grading of the road is happening in the laboratory, like what kind of distress the road is having. The condition parameters are again validated looking at the video by the analyst who is sitting in the laboratory. Okay. And then coming to the FWD, which is also an automated survey vehicle, which collects the falling weight deflectometer data, which is basically the pavement composition data, which is coming directly using a vehicle. Then the traffic survey, as I told, it is manual in nature. The traffic survey, I think you are all aware how a traffic survey is done. The number of vehicles, PCUs are data collected, and in various places in designated locations, it is 24/7, like 3 days and 1 week continuous data collection traffic surveys are conducted to get the traffic data on various roads, either state highway or major district road or whatever designated locations. Now, coming to the site investigations, for every 5 kilometer on state highways and every 10 kilometers on the major district roads, we collected the pavement composition data or the logs, what you are seeing physically, looking at the cross section of the road. You can see here in the picture, the cross section of the pavement and the crust thickness, everything. It is measured, it is written in the formats, and to identify what section it is, all the data is again collected. And through this again, we will identify these logs in the laboratory and make a database out of this. And basically, all civil engineers must be aware that we fundamentally conduct the CBR analysis. CBR is the primary data which is used for your composition thickness findings. And then axial load. Also, you can see a plate here. Is it visible? A small plate kind of a thing, which collects the axial load of this vehicle. So we stop the vehicle, we put forth that one, and then measure the vehicle load. So it is again, data collection is done manually using the pad. And then all the cross drainage structures, as I mentioned, all kinds of bridges and culverts along the road are all collected, which is all the numbers I will give you later, but entire state bridges and culverts data, and we will see what kind of data it is. Now, after all collecting the data from the field and then converting into the database, there is a lot of validation which is required to be done because it is all manually entered, either automatic data, sometimes coming from NSV, and then like bridges and culverts data, which is manually entered. So there are a lot of inventory data which is coming in using the Excel input data. So we need to do a lot of validation and processing of this data, and then we did that, and finally we, using the CSV loader techniques, we loaded the data into Oracle database. Now this data flow diagram will give you the clear picture of what kind of data we are talking about. Road inventory and condition data is one set of data. FWD is another set of data.
Sir, I think slide is not changing. Please somebody confirm.
Sir, are you in the slide number 12? Are you referring to the slide number 12?
I'm on slide number 18.
Oh, it's not moving.
Why?
Yeah. When it's at the slide number 12 only.
How come?
Probably you might have changed, right, while you were trying to show video, and then so you need to click that.
I did not change anything. Second, just let me see again. My goodness. You are seeing slide number.
Yeah. Yes, sir. 12 we can see now.
Now 13.
No. You need to show the slide. Yeah, it's
Showing it already.
now you are in 13. Now you are at the 13th slide.
I am there only.
No, there is a little block out. We can't see. Yeah, we can see the entire screen, it seems. Now
you can see?
Yeah, you are at the 13th slide.
Yeah, everybody is 13 only now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now you can, yes, show the slide.
Yeah, I moved to the next. I moved to the next.
No,
No,
still we can see 13th slide.
Yeah.
Actually, should be in a slide show mode.
Slideshow.
Yeah. It is not in slideshow mode.
Yeah. We can see some.
I did not do anything. Now?
Now 14. Yeah. Slide number 14.
Okay. I'm just moving. Can you see the change now?
It's there is a little delay, it seems.
Okay.
Can you show the slide and then keep moving? Couple of slides. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, can you show the slide? Slideshow.
Yeah, slideshow only. I am in slideshow.
But we are seeing. I think you are not selected. I think you might have came out. Can you come out of this sharing of screen and then again?
Oh, I am in share tray only, sir. Very
No, because we are seeing
I am in share only. I am in very much in share tray.
Okay. No, that's what you can you come out and then reshare it.
I have to break it and
Yeah.
see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you see now?
Yeah, 12, slide number 12 we can see with not just in a slideshow mode, it is a layout mode.
In the layout mode,
Yeah.
Since it is somewhere it is blocking.
That's why
Hello,
better to
hello,
come
sir.
out.
Yes.
While sharing, just select the desktop. Don't select the PPT window. Don't window share. Select the desktop sharing.
Yeah. I am using desktop only, dear friend. Arey yaar. Funny.
So do one thing. You come out of the tray and then you get back once again into the tray.
Okay.
And then once you see the your presentation, select the presentation. Then we'll see how it looks.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
now I did it again, right? Can you see the change now?
Yes, you are in the 12th slide.
Yeah, is surveys and data collection traffic.
Yes. So now can you move the couple of slides? Go to 13th, 14th like that.
Yes, I am going. You are not. You are
Not able to see. Okay, can you show the slide?
I am moving now.
So
See, sir, we can't see. Same 12 is there.
Probably while selecting the PPT in the tray, you might have selected double. Already there is a slideshow file and
No. I'm sure I. What is that you are seeing now?
now complete layout of the PPT with sidebar.
Hence it is. It is
Yeah,
not.
you have kept the cursor at an image having a milestone 42 kilometer.
I think it is not showing. Somewhere it physically blocked, I believe. I think there is some issue with.
Probably that two files might be open. You know, if they are both are open.
See, I am seeing two here. One is Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Teams call in progress. Only two.
Okay.
That's it. Which is right. And I am seeing all the participants plus 50. Everything. This
Okay.
is perfect, no? 43.14 recording time.
Okay.
And from there only I am trying to share the tray again.
Okay. Please, can you come out of again that all the close the PPT.
Okay.
Open the PPT and then make it a small window of PPT. Don't go for a slideshow. Don't go for a slideshow.
I'll do that. Okay. Now I closed the PPT. I'm again opening it fresh. So you are not seeing anything now.
No.
Is my screen shared right now?
We don't see. We're not able to see anything. I mean, just I can see the display initials of all the participants, around 9 participants.
Okay. Good. Okay. I closed the PPT. Now I fresh screen sharing. I will.
Don't show the slide in now itself.
Okay.
Okay.
something utter wrong. It's not. Okay.
Not able to.
Now you can see the.
Yeah. Yeah. You have selected the complete layout, right? PPT layout.
Correct, correct. Now
Okay.
the first slide you are able to see in the layout.
Yes. Slide. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now I think.
Now can you show slideshow? Can you go for slideshow?
Yes, yes. I am going. I am going. You are able to see the next slide.
No. You are at the cursor is at the slideshow, but we are not able to see this show.
Why it is not? I'm doing.
Yeah, it's you have moved to the second.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, please do the slideshow.
Slideshow only, sir. I am in slideshow.
Okay. Okay, sir. You can keep presenting in this mode only, not an issue.
No, why it is allowing? Or shall I completely go out and come?
Maybe you can try, sir. Not an issue.
I will just log out whole thing and come back.
Okay, fine,
Something
fine.
must be hinting. I do not know. We use it daily, but I'm surprised why you people are not getting it.
It happens, sir. It happens. I had on the first day I had the same problem with my MacBook, and then I had a tough time.
Okay, I'm just going. I'm just exiting.
Okay.
Log in again.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm looking for you to make you. Yeah. Now you are a presenter.
Yes. 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 Now I'll open. I'll open the screen again. Okay. Can you see now?
Oh, it may take few seconds.
Can you see?
Yeah. That entire layout we can see.
Not layout. I put it in the slideshow.
No, sir.
Nobody is seeing, huh?
I mean, I'm. Can one of you please give
No,
your?
No, sir.
Only layout is seen.
No, sir.
Yes, that is true. Whole layout we can see the sidebar and then slide. You are now at 13th slide.
Yeah, correct. Why it is?
So,
Why that?
No. My concern is whether you selected the PPT or entire desktop.
I selected the PPT only. See, when you say screen sharing, I'm. It's called open share tray.
Yes.
So in the open share tray. Okay,
you can see desktop, you can see the window, and you can see the PowerPoint.
Yeah, correct. So
Yeah, there is one suggestion. If you can share the PPT, I can try from my end.
I'll do that. No problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I send it to you to the same.
Yeah. I have, I think, a PDF, it seems.
Yeah, you have PDF. Yes, you're right. But anyway,
Will that work?
yeah, yeah. PDF also works comfortably. It's more, this thing. It is smaller in size also.
It has 10 MB, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. It is smaller in size anyway. But I'm surprised why it's misbehaving. Very peculiar.
Yeah. I think we can stop sharing the screen, sir.
Myself, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did that. I closed.
We are not, we are able to see. I mean, I don't know. Now I'm trying to.
No, I stopped already.
Are you planning to send the PPT?
Yeah, I can also send it. No issues. I'll just send it to you. Sent.
Okay, sir. I'll check.
You are still seeing my presentation? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hope you all of you can see this.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Now it is in the title slide.
Yes.
And then I'll move to the second.
Yes. Move to the second. Yes, I can see now.
Yeah.
Go to 12.
Fourth, fifth, sixth. Again, it has come to 3, 5, 6,
That's what number is.
7.
Just continue. That's it.
10, 11, 12.
Yeah. Here we next.
Here.
Next. We explained this.
14.
Yeah, we are here. I think
Yeah.
here we missed the track.
Yeah, other thing is there is a restart of the slide numbers.
That's okay. You just continue. We'll correct it.
Okay.
I'll correct it and give you. That's not an issue.
Yeah, not it. Please carry on.
Yeah, I hope for everybody it is visible, and I hope we stopped at this level. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I was trying to tell you that being all civil engineers, we are all aware that CBR is one important parameter which we collect through this log and then try to understand the pavement composition, which you can see the pavement crust thickness is measured using the tapes and things like that. And this CBR is again soil test done in the laboratory and CBR value is arrived at. Go to the next. Yeah. And axial load is one important parameter which again gives you the load of the vehicles, which is the road is bearing or being used. And this is another important parameter to define and derive at what is the kind of pavement composition we should have. So this is another data which we collect using that pads, which you can see on the under the tire of the vehicles. So a pad is put and then they will collect the vehicle loads. Okay, next. And as I told you earlier, along the roads, the cross drainage structures, CD structures, which are basically bridges and culverts. The bridges and culverts data is collected, and there are very number of parameters on each bridge and culvert is collected. I will explain the data further. Next. Yeah. After doing all the data collection and compiling the data, we need to validate it for several reasons, like there may be some manual entry mistakes or typographic errors, or maybe compilation errors, or maybe merging the data. While merging, you might have missed something. So all this validation, there are certain scripts which are needed to thoroughly check the data quality and validation. And we have come out with that kind of validation. I just give you an example. In Indian conditions, IRI, which is a roughness index parameter, which is an important parameter. Normally, in the international scenario, 16 is the upper limit of IRI. But in our Indian conditions, there are on majority of our roads, we get even 20, 25, 30 number also of IRI, which is something like an ECG of a heart. IRI is for a road. So we need to restrict the validation criteria. Beyond 16, we don't want to accept that value. Either it could be because of a bump on the road, or maybe a physical completely road gone off the road, that kind of a thing. So this kind of validations are practical in nature. We need to collect this kind of validation criteria from the client, or maybe based on our experience in various road areas we work on. So this kind of validation processes are kept in place. Okay, next. Yeah. Again, I want to reiterate, please stop me if you want to ask anything, because this is going to be almost another half an hour, 45 minutes presentation. You have a lot of slides to go. You may miss again. Whenever you get a doubt, please stop me, interrupt me. So the kind of data what we are talking again here is road inventory data, condition data, and FWD, which is giving the pavement composition. And there is again culverts and bridges, traffic and soil investigation. There is a lot of data which is coming from the road inventory, which is nothing but DGPS data, which gives us the road network in the map format. So the network data is taken separately into GIS software, and then that data is created into GIS map. and then the other data is processed and validated for various levels, and then the data is again made into individual assets. I will show you the asset data in a picturesque manner in the next slides. Next one. Yeah, this slide gives you the relationship of various data sets within our road inventory system, like the road codes, road labeling, or maybe the traffic data, or maybe the culvert and bridges data. They are all associated, interlinked to certain characteristics. How the interrelated characteristics are established in the database scenario or database framework, we need to come up with entity relationship diagrams. These are called ER diagrams in information technology parallels. So these ER diagrams are drawn to understand the data variability and data commonness again in the picture. Next one. Then the first step what we do is the GIS database creation, the spatial database creation. So using the DGPS data, hope you are all aware, the DGPS stands for Differential Global Positioning System. DGPS stands for GPS with high quality measurement, sub-meter measurement, centimeters level accuracy we achieve. Using that DGPS instrument, we can physically make a track of that road and then generate a road and make a map out of it. So using that data, the map is created, and it is again projection is given, which is WGS 84 is a standard Survey of India datum on the Survey of India projection defined for India for all governmental programs, and that projection is again added to that. Maybe go to the next slide. I can explain the map making process. Yeah, you can see here two slides, two parts. The first one, the top when we receive the DGPS network data, that is overlaid on the Google Earth satellite imagery, and we have all the satellite imagery from the Google Earth. Hope you are all aware of Google Earth. People do use, even in Google Maps, there is a satellite option. It is the same data for continuously coming on screen directly, and then we can cross check the road network correctness using the satellite imagery overlay. And then after doing all the corrections, we create this route creation, we call it as, and then that route creation has a lot of parameters to that, and it involves the start and end chainages of the road, and then the datums, and then the junctions. Like you can see here, the green one, there is a road going here, and I am adding another road which is in red color. There is a junction formed here. The nodes of all the junctions, start points and end points are all created with some numbering system, and we can use them for our analysis in the next level. So this is called route creation. The network analysis functionality, which is commonly used in our Google Maps kind of a thing, what we use for our navigation every day in our life today, is basically the network analysis functionality which creates these maps using the road navigation. Like when you go to, let's from Hyderabad to Bangalore, we just put on the Google Maps, we see navigation continuously coming on. This is the function which is the first step to generate a road route, and then adding all these nodes and then defining the nodes. So this is exactly what is done for the entire state of Andhra Pradesh. for all the state highways and major district roads. Next. You can see here 4 parts. While doing the GIS data creation, there are so many issues we need to resolve. Like you can see here, there is a missing link in the first slide. Hope you can see it clearly. So this missing link is basically the DGPS has not given the data. There is a missing link. So there is a snapping issue. So I need to snap it and then join this road junction. And there could be another way difficulty. A road is surveyed 2 times and I am getting 2 overlapped segments. So I need to keep one and remove the second one. Then the third one, there is a physical gap. There is a circle you are seeing. 2 parts coming and stopping at the circle. Can you see that?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yeah. So this is basically a gap is maintained because the survey vehicle could not have gone to this road. This road may be very bad on ground. The vehicle you have seen, it is kind of a Swaraj Mazda kind of a vehicle. So the vehicle might not have access to that road and they stopped at 2 ends. This may be a forest area or maybe some land occurrence where they could not proceed further. So we need to join this. Then we take the help of other data, ancillary data, and we join the road with some data building activity. And the fourth one, with a satellite image overlaid, you can see in the circle, there is a curvature here, but there is a straight line there. Actually, the road should be curvature in nature. The road is curving, but the snapping took and then finally it joined at the straight line. So we need to correct these kind of shapes and kinks to correct the road network and again join all the attributes allotted to it or associated with it. This is a kind of GIS involvement of the root file in creation. Go to the next slide. With all this being done, the entire state is now having the sub-meter accurate road network map of Andhra Pradesh, which is having all the routes created. It is linear reference system, LRS. Basically, it is a chainage based system, which is in practice for all the civil engineering fraternity. And it is network analysis ready, and there are unique IDs that are built for all the analysis. State highways and MDR codes are also generated. There is a coding system with the NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, follows from north to south and east to west. There is a mechanism of coding the roads. So that same mechanism is used also in Andhra Pradesh for the state highways and MDRs. Go to the next slide. Today, if you open the Google Maps, in no other state other than Andhra Pradesh, you can see the codes available for the major district roads also. The box items of the white roads, what you are seeing is for the major district roads, and the yellow roads with the blue background in the Google map. In the center you can see these are all state highways. The state highways are numbered and in the major district roads are also numbered for common usage. And this data is already given to Google Maps and they have embedded that into Andhra Pradesh road network map of Google Maps. So this is the kind of contribution which is done to the general public consumption of this database. Next slide. We can now look at some numbers. Every district in Andhra Pradesh now has number of state highways and number of MDRs. start from Srikakulam to Anantapur in the south. So all the state highways and FDR roads, each district wise, they are now numbered and number of roads are available. Next slide. For a sample or an example, I am just showing you the GIS database created for one district. This is called Prakasam district. It is south of Vijayawada. And you can see here the red color indicates the national highway network, and green color and red color are the state highway and MDR roads. Next slide. Yeah.
Hope you can see.
Yes, I can see. Yeah. Here you can see the road network overlaid with the mandal boundaries. In Andhra Pradesh, we have the administrative divisions as mandals. Next to the district, we have mandals. So all the administrative jurisdictions with the mandal names and roads overlaid, you can see, means this database is now whatever we created for the road network is now put into practice, put into state level GIS database system. And you can see star marks and plus marks on the roads, which are nothing but major bridges and minor bridges and culverts. Like that, traffic and other data is also embedded into the system. Next one. Next slide.
Is this road inventory?
Next slide.
You want? I am at the 30th slide.
Yeah, you are right.
Should I go forward?
One step back.
CD inventory.
Back.
Road inventory.
Yeah, give me road inventory. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now you can see the backdrop of a satellite image. There is called Ongole town of district headquarters. The roads are numbered. These numbers are nothing but kilometer stones, which you see on the roads. Because I already linear referencing I did for all the roads with chainage, I can now represent them with the kilometer stones starting to end. Every road start to end point is shown in kilometer stones. Each kilometer, the kind of road inventory I collected, you can see here, kind of road name, road, and I think it is very small in nature, but you have the PDF with which you have got all the details to check. So this is the kind of road inventory we created for entire state of Andhra Pradesh at every kilometer level. Next slide. Then we are talking about the bridges and culverts. The bridges and culverts also has got lot of data, the type of bridge and the span height, width, and things like that. And on the photographs also, from the three levels, the center and right and left of each culvert or bridge, the photographs are also taken and embedded into the system. So this becomes the artifact or a history or document for us tomorrow when we go for any maintenance. What was the position earlier? We can always see that. Next slide. Now we conducted traffic volume surveys, we know. So this is the kind of every traffic volume survey is conducted at a designated location. There are about 65 to 100 locations, and each location is the data is already analyzed, and we can see the AADT value of the traffic survey. AADT value for this particular traffic is 2102 average annual daily traffic numbers, and the PCU, passenger car units, are 1828. So this kind of traffic information is also again embedded into the GIS system. Next slide. This is an important parameter, IRI, we explained earlier. IRI is International Roughness Index. This is the primary parameter nowadays to check the condition of the road, whether the road is good, bad, poor, or whatever. By IRI, people immediately know that this road is good condition also. Now, this IRI data is continuous in nature. Means every 10 meters, the IRI value is generated by the network survey vehicle, and that data is already with us. So you can see, select a road now in GIS. You can see, you can select again IRI, which is highlighted in yellow, and you can generate a histogram of that road, which can tell you what kind of what kind of condition of that road. Maybe next slide will give you the more kind of information. Next slide. Now the same IRI I classified into the standard practice of IRC, Indian Road Congress. IRC tells us 1 to 3.4 IRI is good, 3.4 to 4.5 is average, or and then 4.6 to 7 is poor, and then 7 to 17 is poor. There are 4 classification system of IRC, Indian Road Congress. Now, using that template, I classified the entire IRI of one district road network. You can see here, majority of the roads are either falling in poor to very poor ratio of violet and red color. I hope you can visualize that. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You please
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the kind of analysis we can do with several parameters. I just took as an example because IRI is an important parameter. But using this, we can see the condition of the road, or which sections of the roads is bad or good or poor or whatever status they are. Next slide. So a zoomed view of the same IRI, we can see more clearly here. Each section you can see a road is physically in several states as far as pavement condition is concerned. Certain part of the road is good, certain part of the road is bad, like that. But this IRI is the survey conducted in 2017. Now, after 2017, based on this IRI and other parameters, we are giving some maintenance programs. Now, after doing the pavement strengthening or strengthening of the road or whatever it is, again you have to conduct this kind of IRI surveys to physically see the difference between the later and former pavement composition, strength or weakness or poor or whatever state it is. Next slide. Now, in the beginning, the system architecture, we were explaining there is a Oracle-based database repository. This is nothing but Exar software. So this Exar software is a cloud-based asset management system software. You can see here on your left side, there are varieties of subcomponents, which I explained in the beginning, that there is a RIS, TIS, BIS kind of things. Each one is into subcomponent and the data is fed into, you can see one single road here. on your top, you can see the road code, and then the road is, each section is given the start and end sections and then the various parameters. Like this, XOR software takes all the road network data into the system and maintains that as an LRS system. Next slide. Now this slide gives you the quantum of work what we did, because road inventory data is for the state highways it is about 13,460 kilometers, and for the MDR network it is about 26,000. All put together 40,000 line kilometers of data is already in the system with this kind of attributes. On your right you can see the variety of attributes which is already embedded into the system. The pavement condition, the road geometry, and the traffic volume data, like for 337 for the state highways, 542 locations for MDR. Axle load data, site investigation data, and bridges and culverts. There are 2,540 bridges and there are 3,000 plus culverts, and every bridge and culvert has got type, span arrangements, total width of the bridge, whether it is a clear roadway, what is the superstructure type, material and condition, proposed treatment, vertical clearance, everything related to bridge maintenance management also is already collected. Now the state highways are all numbered, as I told, it's already given to Google Maps. Next slide. So this gives you the quantum of work which is already done and kept in the system. Now this is the kind of working arrangement at the department level. The R&B department in Government of Andhra Pradesh has a system in place. There is a RMS cell, RMS road management system cell, wherein all the data is into Oracle platform, and then people, because it is in the cloud architecture, you can see the cloud there, and the people at the headquarter level and also all the circle offices have accessibility to this cloud system and Oracle platform from the server level, and this data is now directly used and consumed by the state government circle offices in the R&B circles in each district of Andhra Pradesh. Next. Now coming to the maintenance practice, here too we are talking of establishment of the road inventory and condition database for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now we are now taking to the next step. What is the present R&B practice in terms of maintenance of the roads? Now the present practice is basically ordinary maintenance. Means what they do, when they see pothole they fill it, or edge breaking or rutting, jungle clearance or whatever, they come and do the minimum patchwork on the road. We see regularly in our life, the same thing happens elsewhere also. And also there is a periodical maintenance based on certain levels. On 30 mm thin overlay normally they do with 5-year renewal cycle. And on certain cases they go for 80 mm thickness. So this is the standard periodical maintenance they do. This is what the information we got from the R&B department. So what is the shortfall of this practice? Basically this practice is taken up because of paucity of funds. There are no funds available with the departments to completely take over all the roads at one time and doing all the maintenance activity throughout the year. They don't have funds. So what they do? They do patchwork, they do minimum maintenance of roads. And it is not need-based approach. Means what do we mean by need-based? A road is going already to dogs, but we do not maintain it because we don't have funds. There is a need to re-strengthen the road, but we do not have funds. So there is no need-based approach. Also, there is no scientific approach. Whenever they get a call from higher-ups or political brass, they simply do the pothole filling. Or some CM program is there, chief minister or minister program, they do pothole filling. There is no scientific approach. Now, all the roads are same to them. There is no categorization, there is no prioritization, there is no state highway, district road or rural road concept. Whatever is required, they will do the small terms of maintenance. So there is no decision system already available with the department in the scientific manner. So this is the gap which they have today. Now we have the data with us. So how to come to their rescue and how to develop a maintenance plan for them is our next task. Next slide. Let us just try to understand the one Prakasham district, what we have seen the data just now. How many number of roads are there? There are 40 number of roads, state highways, and the total length is 1050 kilometers. And what is the IRI? IRI in 2016 is 5.2. And the overall quality is poor as per the IRC, Indian Road Congress standards. It is the poor category. Now, looking at the poor category roads, what is the kind of distribution among these roads we have seen? There are 24 roads which are very, poor, and 14 roads are between average, and there are only 2 good roads within the district. So out of 40 roads, the good roads are only 2. This is the kind of current network condition of one district. Next slide. And we have gone into the details of that particular district. So there are 40 roads, all the 40 roads are listed, and trying to see which are bad roads and which are good roads in terms of IRI and other parameters. Number of potholes, number of rise and falls, number of raveled area, what is the curvature, how many cracks are there, what is the square meters of cracks are there in the road. This kind of broad analysis is done. Next slide. And then we try to understand what is the distress and what is the operation they do in the field. If there is a pothole, then pothole patching they do. If there is an edge break, so you can see the pictures there which give us more information. What is an edge break? What is a crack? What is raveling? What is rutting? What is longitudinal cracks? So what kind of pavement distress and then treatment they do, we try to understand. And what is the kind of cost involved in that? Next slide. The same way, if they do an overlay of the road or resealing of the road, what is the kind of when they do the resealing? Like when they do the resealing, when the when the IRI is more than 5 or whatever, berm sectioning, when do they do? All this kind of distress and operations, what they do presently, we try to collect. Next. Then we try to understand what is the strategy we need to adopt for this maintenance of these roads. What is our overall objective, and then what is the strategy we need to adopt? Next slide. Now here you can see what is the present practice and what is proposed in our road management system. Variety of routine maintenance activities, pavement related, non-pavement related, and periodical maintenance activities. All 3 of them put together, what is the overall strategy we need to adopt? So there are 6 possible ways of strategical options in the HDM4 software. The modeling software can give 6 kinds of best practices. What are those 6? There is 2 types of practice. One is scheduled based practices, other one is responsive type of practice. In the scheduled type, there is best, fair and minimum. Again, in responsive type, there is best, fair and minimum. Go to the next slide, I will explain further. So there are 13,000, 14,000 state highways, and there is 32,000 major district roads and maybe some ODR roads which are converted into major district roads. The state level objective, the department wanted the road network quality or the IRI, they want to maintain it 3.5 to 4 in coming 5 to 10 years for the state highways. And the same IRI for the major district roads 4 to 5 in coming 5 to 10 years. This is the state level objective. To meet this objective, next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. To meet this objective, you can see here there are total 6 number of strategies. In best responsive, there are 3, and in schedule, there are 3. Responsive, there are 3, and schedule, there are 3. Total 6 number of deterioration modeling practices are applied to this data, are applied to this pavement data. Each road, each section of road is passed through 6 types of deterioration modeling. This is an important thing in the entire practice. All the road network pavement data along with the pavement condition index data is physically subjected to the modeling software using 6 strategical options. And each option has got certain parameters. I think in the details with you, you can go through. And these 6 practices, when they are subjected to modeling, this modeling software, what it gives. Go to the next slide. Next slide, please.
I'm in 46th slide. Unit cost per kilometer.
Okay. Along with the strategy options, we also collected the cost involved in the present maintenance practice of R&B department. Like for resealing, what is the per square meter, what is the cost? Because I need to give cost also to the economic software, the modeling software. So we collected all the rates from the schedule of rates from the department. We also used this as one of the parameters. Next slide. So this is the HDM software, Highway Development Management software, which is basically developed by a group in the World Bank. This is used for the deterioration modeling of the pavements and also for the economic analysis of the pavements to come out with prioritization of roads and also the cost involved in the the maintenance activity. Next slide. So this is the kind of screen you can see in the HTM4 where we need to fill in lot of data. You can see for one section, you can see that section written there on that yellow color stripe. For one section, we need to define the section. We need to give a lot of geometry details which we collected, then pavement details, condition details, and then traffic details, and then asset valuation in terms of cost. So this, all the data is subjected to this modeling software HTM4. Next slide. Next slide, please.
I am in the strategy analysis results.
Correct. Now it came. Sorry. Okay. Now once we applied that, when we applied that all 6 modeling parameters on all the data for the Prakasam district, now the modeling software has given us the optimum strategy in the present environment. It is a 10-year analysis, means for the coming 10 years, which road to be taken first, which road to be maintained for what kind of pavement management. And out of all the 6 types of practices, minimum responsive practice is found to be the optimum strategy, because the IRR, the internal rate of return, and the cost benefit ratio is good for the minimum responsive. When you see the cost benefit ratio, which should be always more than 1 in terms of economic analysis. For any project, not only road network or anything, for any project, your cost benefit ratio should be more than 1. Then only the project is viable. It should be the internal rate of return and the cost benefit ratio, which should determine the returns on the project. So, keeping our network level target of IRI 3.5 to 4, minimum responsive type of schedule gives us the optimum benefit for the coming 5 or 10 years. Means what it means. Next slide, we will see. So the minimum responsive methodology, which is cyan color, which is the second line in the graph, which is almost meeting the 4 average of IRI, and for the years to come up to 2026, 2017 to 2026, 10-year period, the IRI will be maintained if you take up this strategy and go for the prioritization and go for the pavement management. That list of pavement management is in the next slide. Next slide, please. So here is the road network, which is already subjected to the modeling software. Gives us in 2017, these are the roads with so much of length need to be first taken up with the kind of description. You have to resealing for 30 mm. So this is the very detailed work program you generated using the HDM software, giving all the parameters, and then finally coming out that Karumanchi Itamukkala Motumala road of 2.74 kilometers, the first one in the rows, is the first road which we need to take up for kind of resealing. So this is the kind of very detailed work program you can generate using this entire road asset management system software integrated methodology. Next slide. Now you can, the same 10-year program is now shown again on the map. So you have seen the previous map with the road network classified with state highway and major district highway. But here you can see in 2017, which are the roads you have to take up for pavement management. Likewise, you can see in different colors, different stretches of roads, which we need to take up for the pavement management. But today, this is the scenario. If you take up all of them together in 1 year, fine. The entire network target you have reached. But if you have funds problem, then you have to prioritize your maintenance management or routine maintenance, and then go for parts of these roads or sections of these roads based on this criteria. Next slide. So now you can see a detailed work program also, which is already generated in a GIS. You can see a particular stretch of road in the year 2017, and that road, that particular part of 1 kilometer has to be bituminous using 30 mm overlay. So up to this level of kilometer level aggregation, kilometer level information of maintenance management can be generated using this integrated software approach. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So you can see the total work program here. So this is the kind of cost involved. In 2017, if they spend 134 crores for this 1000 kilometers of road, what we talked, out of the 1000 kilometers, what is the total what you call cost involved is 134 crores in 2017. Likewise, for the total 10 years cost comes to about, I am not able to see that here. There is a strip there. You can see the totals there. Anyway, this is the kind of detailed cost analysis for the pavement management generated. Likewise, we generated for all the districts of Andhra Pradesh, for all the state highways and major district roads. Next slide. Now, as civil engineers, you may be interested to go into the details of one section, I thought. So, one section, a particular road section with all the inventory data, what is the length, what is the width, what is the carriageway, what is the type of shoulder width, and then the kind of thickness or the kind of pavement condition, which you can see here, the pavement condition parameters and also the road structure. Everything together, this becomes a very good understanding mechanism to understand the road asset management system for a kind of BTech projects or MTech projects, which you can propagate to make students understand this entire mechanism. They can take up a district or so and so. This data is available and they can come and discuss with the people involved. They can take up and they can study this as well. Next slide. Yeah. Now, when it comes to validating our work, we have generated the pavement maintenance plans, but we need to validate them. So for validating this, what we did, we went to the field. We went to the field. We created. We have, along with the R&B, we made teams, and then we validated this data. Yeah. Am I audible? I think there is a disturbance.
Yes, no, it's audible.
Okay, okay.
No.
I thought some disturbance came. Okay. So we made teams and then we physically went into the field. I think maybe next slide, please. So you can see here in the strip photos, several teams went to different roads, tried to understand what is the present condition of that road and what the data is talking about. The data is already spread over the sheet there, up to the chainage level, start chainage, end chainage, and distress observed, and then what of the type of treatment what we proposed, and then this is the kind of tables we created, and then we went to field with various deputy executive engineer level people to the field to understand the whether the software generated model gives us the correct picture on field. Is it representing? What is the kind of validation? So next slide also gives you some picture. Yeah. So this way we physically, it's okay. Physically we have gone through and we found 85% of the modeling program, the works management program what we generated is matching 85% of the ground reality. That 15% is because of various reasons. Either there are changes in the road or that the kind of data what we received may be wrong or so many factors. But 85% now today they are confident that looking at this kind of technical data available to them, they can straight away go for their proposals, technical sanctions based on the cost involvement and budget estimates what we generated for them, and then go ahead making budget proposals for the R&B department for the road maintenance programs. Next slide. And we conducted varieties of workshops, state level workshops in 5 places across the state, and called all the R&B staff, ground staff, made them understand the quality of data, importance of data, and the variety of data what we collect which will be useful to them in their day-to-day functioning. Every bit of that data what we collected, the information system what we collected is quite useful to them. They should understand that, they should use it, they should update it. So with that context, we conducted state level programs to energize and make them educate about all this kind of scientific analysis. Next slide. Okay, Dr. Suresh.
Yes, sir.
If we have time, I can show the live APRMS data on cloud also. Maybe
Sure, sir. Sure. Next presenter is ready. I request Mr. Rajshekhar take the session a few minutes later.
Maybe, but I will try because there was some trouble.
Okay.
I try once and then otherwise leave it. We will have a question answer then. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So meanwhile, you can, while working, whether you can address some queries.
Please, and you have to make me presenter, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, you are already there.
Okay, fine. I can continue.
Yeah, I have opened
Yes.
sheet. Screen sharing. I have came out of the tray now.
Okay. Okay. So let us continue question answer session.
Yeah. When I request the participants, if you have any queries, please ask your questions or queries to Prasad sir.
Yes.
So you please go ahead. If you can do parallel working, that is
if I am going
okay.
Anybody can ask me anything related to the presentation. No problem. Yeah. Anybody welcome. Otherwise, I want to just show the.
Yeah. Okay, sir. You go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. Okay. So can you see the India map?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So this is Andhra Pradesh is highlighted there. So I am just going 2 steps. You can see the districts. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I am just zooming in. Now you can see various administrative boundaries. And now you can see Prakasam district as a pilot I am just showing.
Okay.
So now this is the rainfall data which we superimpose to study what is the kind of rainfall influence on the road network. And then I can just open the legend. You can see the major state highway and MDR and rural road. So I can now go and click on any road. You can see that A panel
Yes,
is open.
we can see the details. Yes.
Yeah, a panel is open and
Yeah.
variety of data is already there at your footstep. Every kilometer, I'm just clicking next kilometer. I'm just clicking next kilometer. It is start is 10 and end is 11. Means 10 to 11 kilometer strip of this road. This is the kind of data what is already available in the system. What is the IRI? 3.05 is the IRI of that particular strip. And traveling, potholes, loss of surface, rutting, this kind of data is already there. Now, coming to the kind of traffic survey, you can see here more the number, bigger the circle for traffic AADT. You can see here, you can see small and big circles in the map. Can you
Yeah,
visualize?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is the kind of cluster mapping you can do. This is the beauty of GIS. You don't have to go and see the data. You know pretty well that this particular structure, what I am saying here, is a bigger inside. It is smaller inside. Means the numbers are small here and big. This is called cluster mapping. Okay. So this is the kind of now I go to the next level. I superimpose the roughness index. So I can see here now the roads with this thickness. What thickness? The IRI more than 16 is one thickness 12,951. So any road you are following, simply you can make out here. We are all used to this kind of Google Maps script. So this particular stretch from here to here is bad condition road. So this is the kind of quick analysis you can do with the road network and then make out what kind of data. And then I'm talking about bridges here. Now you see here, this is a bridge. Variety of data which we collected for the bridge is almost 100 parameters of this bridge data is already there. And finally, what we say is a faith. The bridge remarks is good or bad or whatever it is. So, how many number of spans? What is the kind of span arrangement? Clear span, linear length. All these things are there. So this is the kind of data what I was talking about is already in place. Using this data only, we have come out. You see here. Now I have even superimposed the kilometer stretches. 13 to 14 is one stretch. So you zoom it, then you get it. Here you see, everywhere you see that kilometer stretch is highlighted and then giving you the details. So this is the kind of database availability and the beauty of asset management system in place, giving the handle to the road engineers and civil engineers in R&B department. Uh, you know, I'm sure in other parts of the country, Karnataka, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Orissa has done excellent work, and there are several states, maybe about 6 or 7, which have done this RMS practice already, and the R&B departments are already using them. And even in government of AP, when the last government, they made a GO. Without the RMS data, they cannot put up the proposal for any road sanctions. There is a GO now. This is the kind of versatility it gives, and I think I'm done with the presentation. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Dr. Gautam, it seems you have.
No, sir. No, sir. I just want to know whether these things are available for everyone.
Well, these things are available at the organizational level because it is state government handled servers data. So for any projects for the students or for the institutions to do any kind of survey and analysis, one can approach the R&B department in government of Andhra Pradesh,
Okay.
to get the hand on this data. Hope
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's what I want to ask.
Anything else?
I think we have almost come to the end of the session, sir. But I have one question.
Please.
What is the fund allocation for this entire road information system updation regularly? If we have to update, how much fund allocation is there? Any business to take care of the business of this road management system?
I tell you in some other way. The total spending on this road asset management system for Andhra Pradesh touched about 50 crores. Means one time baseline data, what you have seen, the kind of data what we generated with one year NSV survey and FWD survey, plus all the data whatever we collected, and completely establishing this system costed about 50 crores. Now, coming to the frequency and cycle of this IRI kind of pavement data every 2 years being done, that cost maybe about 3 to 4 crores every year to the department. But the kind of saving you do by doing such practice will be somewhere around 200 to 300 crores.
Yeah, that is true. That we need to justify.
Yeah, the unnecessary practice of routine maintenance, which is basically going waste, they should monetize that, and they should do a judicious spending of their budgeted allocations. If you use this kind of technology, the World Bank estimated we saved about 200 crores in Andhra Pradesh in 1 year.
Oh, that's fine. Very good.
The kind of explanation I can give for the time being.
Now, are they regularly updating this?
Yes, sir. Yes. Actually, after this state highway and major district roads, they have taken another project for the rural roads first. So now once the rural roads are also done, it will be almost around 90,000 to 1 lakh line kilometers in AP, in Andhra Pradesh, the present state. So all this together, they want to go for one more cycle, maybe coming 2-3 years.
That's very good, sir.
Yes.
So we have come to the end of the session. Sir, you have done very good job. It's I think our participants have seen through your presentation.
Yes.
All those contents now it is comprehended in your presentation.
Okay.
It starts with, it has a payment evaluation information, it has a road network information, and you have also shown about the use of SDM model. Everything is integrated, and in this presentation shows the integration of whatever we discussed till now.
Correct.
In this, this is completely illustrated in your presentation.
Thank you.
It's a really value addition to this FDP program.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with all our participants. We enjoyed.
Dr. Suresh and other participants, I'm happy to contribute and I'm happy to participate in this kind of programs. And really I'm privileged with. And also I extend welcome to use this kind of data and approach me. Dr. Suresh has my details. He can pass on to you. You are at liberty to call me, and I am also, trying to contribute in the state of Andhra Pradesh, also elsewhere in various parts of the country, to mobilize and educate the students, also doing MTech projects and PhD projects. I myself, I am now enrolled for a part-time PhD. I just got the time now, so it's happy to involve in such programs. And Atal being an important and prestigious program, I am happy to participate, which I already mentioned to Dr. Suresh last week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you for your patient hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, I leave the page.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can, sir.
Yes.
I'll stop recording.